What's up, geeks, gamers, and capsuleers? My name is Draymond, and welcome to Thorium Gaming. So this is going to be one of those instructional videos out here in New Eden. A bunch of the people from the Dream project have been asking me to do a demonstration on how to use Directional Scan, and how to use it as a tool to not only find other players, find threats coming in at you, but the more advanced concepts for it. So, as you can see, I'm out in space, sitting on my Astero and having some fun in front of the gorgeous star in a tree. Very pretty. Like it. But let's get into what directional scan is. Now, there are no capsuleer skills required for this. Everything is based on player skill in this case. So, if we open up our scanners and go to our directional scan, this is the stock window that comes up. I'll get into explaining what some of these things are in just a moment, but the first thing I'd like to point out is that your directional scan is docked down here in the corner. I would prefer to have it out. Once you get comfortable with directional scan, you do not need the system map to know how it operates. And it's always wise to have D-scan up just for your own personal use, so that you're not having to constantly open up this large window and see everything, because it's also your probe scanner window. It's not as efficient. So I would suggest undocking your probe scanner window. So let's just minimize the solar system map for now and look at what we've got in DScan. The filters are what you really want to look for. You can set it to your active overview settings and all of the different tiers that you have set up in your overview. I'll probably have to do an overview tutorial later on. I've got mine set for PvP right now. This is ships, drones, combat probes, and basically anything that could hurt me. Now, your scan button is default to V. V plus click will scan towards whatever you're looking at, or whatever you're clicking on. And all it does is pulses out and scans for you. Where DScan gets to be a very valuable tool and becomes very, very useful to you is when you look at the astronomical units and the degrees that you are scanning down. So for right now, I've got them both maxed. Not really doing much. Doesn't have to be special. Most of the time I just leave it on those settings when I'm care bearing up in high sec or just generally running around. Shows you everything within 14.3 AAU centered on your ship in all directions. Let's open up that solar system map again. Let's see what happens when we do certain things. So the green area around my ship here, that is the effective range of directional scan. You can see a couple of other things in there. You can see all the belts, all the stations, all the stargates, everything that's around. What if we want to find something and narrow it down to a specific direction, though? What if we want to use it to hunt other players in, say, faction warfare space? Or what if we want to know where a specific threat is coming at us from? Well, DScan can do that for you. So let's go back into our DScan window. You'll notice as we decrease the AUs, it decreases the circle size. Now we're only scanning out to 5.0. I'm just going to dock this back up so I don't have to keep swapping back. So we're only scanning out to 5.0 astronomical units away from us, so we'll only see things within that green sphere. Pretty self-explanatory. But where do the degrees come into everything? This is what a lot of players have some issues with right off the bat with directional scan. Directional scan is based off the camera around your ship, not the ship's facing. And when you come to the angle, if we drop it down to 180, we'll get this nice little half sphere. Well, that's the direction my camera is facing right now. If I change the direction of the camera, I change the direction of the directional scan. No matter what you do, it will follow your camera. So if you pick something off in the distance, let's just track that station for example, directional scan is going towards it. So how does this become useful to you? Well, you can narrow your scan right down to a pinpoint. So you can scan specifically at a certain object or certain area. it's a very small cone. As you go up in size, of course, you get a wider and wider cone until it branches out into that half sphere. So how do we use this in a combat sense or keeping yourself safe sense? With only 90 degrees, you're only scanning that particular sector. So I'm going to undock my D-scan and I'm going to close the solar system map because I don't need it right now. Let's say, for instance, that we are wanting to know what's coming over from this particular direction. Well, we've got some asteroid fields, we've got a planet, we've got a bunch of different structures over there. If I want to scan specifically in that direction, using my ship as a guiding light, there we go. There's a bunch of Athenors over there. I know that for a fact now. I can even expand it a little bit. Still getting all of the same. So if you're worried about something coming from a specific direction, let's say we are worried about pirates coming in from Nardiarang. Shouldn't really have to be, but we can scan directly in that direction as far as we can, and we'll see if anything is coming from that specific direction towards us. You can also use this to hunt. So if you're going into faction warfare space, or if you're going into low sec or null sec, and you want to use your D-scan as a tool for people who could be on belts or anything, again, it's just your directional scan plus your range. So if we warp to one of these belts,
warp drive active.
We'll be able to show you a little bit easier. Let's say we know there's something at belt 2. For right now, just sake of argument, there is something at belt 2. So we came over here and okay, so there's some Blood Raider rats. Just gonna cloak up real quick. Advantages of being in a Cloakiastero. Well, nothing was here except for the Blood Raider rats. Well, we were looking for belt 2. So if we track belt 2, it's over there, right? We, in fact, can scan directly towards belt 2, and you can narrow it down. You can jump from celestial to celestial, orbital body to orbital body, and every time you change your position within a solar system, you can use it to track down anything that's going by you. So we've just passed the belt, but we're not in line with the same belt. This is actually a better angle for us. So we've got a bunch of little targets all spread out. If you want to know what's specifically at a certain target, there's belt 2, narrow it down, and we are scanning essentially what is just at belt 2. Okay, our target has moved. Let's check if they're at this belt. Oh look, they went to that belt. So we can track other ships by using the Celestials and our D-scan together. Most of the time, you're not going to need to do something like that. It'll be fine enough. Oh, Dim's out there. So let's see if we can track him down with just D-scan. He's in a Procure. So let's narrow our range down a little bit. We know he's within 14.3 AU of us. Could take a minute or two to find him. Of course, I don't want to just straight up ask where he is. So he's not in that direction. Not in that direction. And you can just slowly go around. Oh, there we go. So he's somewhere off in this direction. Just open our solar system map for a second. He's somewhere over here. Now, what do we have that's in here that he could possibly be at? We got a couple of stations over there, a couple of player-owned stations, and we also have a couple of belts. So let's track that first belt. Let's narrow it down even more. Okay, we are still getting a range on him. So let's narrow it down even more. Still seeing him in here. So we got a couple of belts. Narrow it down a little bit more. So we know he's no longer at belt 1. Let's track belt 2 and scan again. There we go. So let's warp within 20 kilometers.
Drive active.
I'm just going to reset our scan to a wide range. So there's a pretty good bet that Divim is at Atrine 2, Asteroid Belt 1. And just like that, we have found our buddy's procurer. Dim, you're probably going to see yourself up on this, and yeah, I'm being cloaky and having some fun. But you are unintentionally a target. That's how you use D-Scan to track someone down. You can use it in any hostile space. You can use it to ratify where threats are coming from. And it's a lot of fun. But just for sake of argument, let's go have some fun with our buddy Die. And flyby of Die. That's always a little bit of fun. And let's warp back to our station because that's pretty much it. That's how you use D-Scan to effectively track down targets or track down threats. So be sure to practice with it. Again, once you get comfortable with what you're doing, you won't need that system map at all. You can just use your D-Scan, just in the D-Scan window, and it'll work out just fine. So that's going to do it for this one, guys. If you liked the video, please consider hitting that like button. If you'd like to join up with the 232, join us in the Atrine project, or just be part of the community, just hit that subscribe button, and make sure you turn your notifications on so you don't miss when a new video goes out. And remember, guys, life is a game, so play to win. And until next time, take care.